I want to invest a lot of time and money into it because it's returned every single time. Every single time. I've just went out today. This morning I met one of the guys on site and we put up some massive signs on one of our projects. Within the hour, we got text messages from people. Just ran, hey, see this site, like see this, what a great site, blah, blah, blah. Within the hour, it's on a main road. Everyone's going to see it.
Yeah, it's like
and
no
it's
brainer.
like, yeah, no brainer. And it's like the money that I spent, it's irrelevant. Like I spent a couple grand on these signs and people are like, whoa, fuck, a couple grand. Mate, are you serious?
Site
How many
signage?
people are going to see that?
Yeah.
And that's one thing, funny enough, when I went to Adelaide, I drove past a lot of construction sites. Like none of them did it. There was just chain mesh fence and a little fucking Corflu sign at the front. That's it.
Telling you the OHS managers.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, dude, you go there, like, and this is what I was saying, like I'll go there as a brand that I've established, go to the Adelaide space, for example, and just blow them away with things like, wow, a hoarding, what's that? Why are you building a timber hoarding? Like, shouldn't you just use chain mesh fence? Yeah, of course, amateurs can use that.
Yeah,
Right?
dude.
And you elevate yourself, and as a result of that, you end up demanding a better quality client. You end up making more money. You're perceived as this this luxury product to a degree, or the desired product, let's say. And all you have to do is look at so many brands. Look at the high-end brands like Ferrari, go to Gucci, or anything that demands a higher price than the value of the product. You know what I mean? Why are people paying $5,000 for a bag from Gucci when you can go get the same one from Kmart?
Association?
It's association. It's how that makes them feel. It's how they present themselves. I'm sure there's marketing aspects to that too. There are so many reasons why you should be investing in marketing and branding, yet people don't do it. And I find that the companies that do, the companies that really go, fuck it, we're going to go all out on this. I've seen it so many times where they just explode.
Yeah, dude.
They explode. It's not just, you'll win a couple of projects. It's everyone fucking knows who you are.
Yeah, and it all starts to have an on-flow effect. It's like all of a sudden it's like there's a tipping point.
Yes.
And then you're like, I've had so many of these conversations with people, right? I think half it's psychological because half the time people do it, and I think this is the worst one where they get results and then they're like, whoa, stop. And you're like, dude, like you're stopping the thing that, but we're busy. Yeah, cool. Tell them you start the job in 6 months. Like you most of the time you don't even close them now.
Yeah.
But they're so focused on reducing expenses. They're like, no. Like, and it's like, that's mistake number one. The other one is I was having a conversation with someone who was doing SEO, still doing SEO. And they were at the 6 month mark. And 6 months is very early in a new SEO journey. And he's like, we haven't really had anything come through. And I said, yeah, like I haven't promised you anything. We've talked you through the process, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, but like, so then, if I got to get to month number 10, that means I've spent, $35,000, $40,000 for one lead. And he's like, what, do I have to pay $35,000 every time you get a lead? I said, no, it's taken you $35,000 to get to the point where you get one lead a month. I said, well, you don't understand. It's month 11, you get a lead. And month 12, you're going to get a lead. And all of a sudden now, that initial first step you took built onto something that's now feeding the machine. You know what I mean? But people don't, it's always looked at as an expense.
Yes, that's right.
Every single time.
Yeah.
So what would you say? What do you say to you guys who aren't, or, kind of they're not sold on it?
Well, I've actually got a training coming up on this as well, on branding and marketing. But going back to the story my trip to Adelaide, as you said, it gets to a tipping point. From what I can see externally, I think I'm quite well known in the industry.
I would agree.
Yeah, I think most people know, if you're in construction, most people know who I am or of me. They've either seen my face on ads, they see what we do with the construction company. When I went to Adelaide, I went and saw this gentleman whom I've never met before in my life. He's probably worth 10 figures. 9 figures. Okay? Yeah, sorry, not 10.
So 100 mil plus.
Yeah. He's in the 100 mil plus barrier. I walk in there and the first thing he said, he goes, "Whoa, wow." He goes, "Can I get your signature? Movie star. I didn't know we had a movie star coming in today." And I start laughing. So obviously just based off the brand and the marketing that we'd done, he felt like he knew me, what we were about, everything we were doing. And he's like, "I really want to get in with you. You know, we see the projects you're doing. We love that sort of stuff. We'd love the opportunity to quote some of your work, all that sort of stuff." And I said, "Look, we might be coming down to Adelaide." He goes, "Oh, great. We'll support you in any way we can." All these sorts of things. Now, that didn't take me 3 weeks to build. As in my brand, my perception, the marketing. That's taken years. And I think people want the short-term win immediately and don't understand that it is a long-term game.
You know what as well? Like you are obviously so sold on the whole aspect of it.
Yeah,
Like
I am.
and I think people do this as well. They'll get amped up,
Yeah.
go try, fail,
Mhm.
and then say, "Nah, it doesn't work for us." I think that
Absolutely.
happens a lot too.
Absolutely. It's like doing 10 push-ups and going, "Oh, this weight loss, this building muscle doesn't work."
Yeah.
That's what you just did. When you say building brand doesn't work, you just fucking failed because you posted, even if you post 100 photos.
Yeah. Commit,
Big
like
deal.
commit.
Yeah, do
Commit.
it
I
long
tell,
term.
dude, especially with content like that, because content's slow.
Yeah,
in the sense, like it's organic.
Yeah, it's
right?
organic. Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, like, "Hey, man, like you want to do content, you can do it." But I said, "But you need to commit. No, you don't have to commit to us, but you need to commit here. You know, you got to say like, hey, I'm going to do this for a year, 2 years. You know, maybe I will not use Robby. Maybe I'll use Robby for 3 months and I won't like his services. That never happens. Maybe I'll use Robby for 3 months and I don't like his services and I'll go somewhere else. But you need to commit to it mentally."
Yeah, that's where people fail. I remember I did a builder summit a few years ago, and I remember a specific gentleman. I can't remember his name, but I remember what he looks like. He was so amped up after we did our brand and marketing presentation. You did your marketing, I did my brand stuff. And then he immediately went out that next day and did his first ever video.
Harry.
I think it was him.
Yeah,
How funny.
The older fella.
Yeah, that's right. And then he created another video.
Yeah,
and then he kept making videos. Now, after a little while, I stopped seeing his videos. So he's either stopped or I just don't see it in my threads anymore. But I don't actually think he's my point with that was he did it for a little bit, maybe got a bit of results, and maybe was pumped up because of the event and everything that we were doing. And then he stopped. And I haven't seen him since. So he's definitely stopped because I would see it.
Yeah,
I would see it. If he was creating enough content, I would
stopped.
see it. Yeah, that's right. I guarantee you stopped because if you were creating enough content at scale, it would come up on my feed because I'm a follower of yours. I'm always on the platform, so I would see it. And that's where people make the mistake. They start for a little bit, they give it a crack. I only got 4 likes this week. Obviously, this social media thing doesn't work.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's too often, or they let a bad experience burn them twice.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, there can be some negativity around it as well when you start to create brands. So you're just going to be aware of what you're doing and what you're about. You're going to get people that don't like your opinions, that don't like what you are about. I've had people like that. I've blocked people because they'll come on and say stuff and go, whatever. Not because I care so much. It's more so I'm not spending ad money reaching those people. But you get people that are not going to like your message. Then you're going to get the opposite. You're going to get people that love your message and love everything you're about. But I ultimately, I don't love social media, and I've said that quite a few times, but I really don't. Now that I've been doing it for quite some time, and I don't think I was ever like that even in the early days before social media was a massive thing. I've never really loved it. And I think even more so now, it is a bit of a task and a bit of a job to do content and to film and effort and sit there and post and captions and hashtags and all that sort of shit. But I love it. I love what it does for my businesses. I love the reach that I could get by creating content. So the actual thing itself, it's like, okay, do you love running marathons? Do you love work like lifting heavy weights? Like it's hard, but that's the cost for you to get the result. If you want to have a six-pack, you got to do the push-ups. So I see social media as the tool. Yes, I may not like it, but that's the tool I have to use. That's where eyeballs are. That's where people's attention is. And that's where you have to be. Like no one advertises in the yellow pages. No one. And if you are, stop.
Is it still around?
I don't even know. Maybe
Online website?
maybe it's an online thing, but
Not a physical book.
nah. But that's the thing, right? Like you got to follow consumer attention. That's all it is. And one day it might not be Instagram. It might not be Facebook. It could be something else.
That will happen. That will happen.
Like exactly.
Yes.
Like it'll be something else where everyone is getting their information from. It might be a fucking computer chip in their wrist or in their brain, wherever it is. You get it inserted at birth. And that could be where you then need to be with all of your branding, with all of your marketing. That's where it has to be. Who knows? But for the time being, the social media platform is where it needs to be. And that's where you need to be if you're serious about being successful in any business whatsoever.
If you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. And if you want to watch the full episode, click just over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.